Hey guys, Mrs. Grit here. Let's go ahead and get our notebooks out, pencils ready. Go ahead and have your calculator ready as well. And we are going to get started with today's notes. Staying organized, let's go ahead and put today's date up at the top of our notes. I will be honest with you guys, with the way the schedule has been working out, I have no idea what day you guys are going to watch this video. So August, fill in the blank. Okay, probably it's 20 something would be my guess, but go ahead and put today's date. And today, our I can statement, we're going to solve and graph inequalities. That's definitely not how you spell and. Okay, so go ahead and put this at the top of your notes as well for me. Okay, we're going to practice both. Just few notes to make sure that we remember, okay, if you need this part written down, this part is up to you. So remember, here are all four symbols. Okay, and we're going to use all four. And again, you do not have to write this part down if you do not want to, because you already should have it written down somewhere in your notes. Okay, take a look here. Hey, L, if I hold up my left hand, L, it makes an L, and it looks like that less than sign. Okay, a way to be able to check. So L, less, left hand, lots of L's, which means this one has to be greater than. Again, I'm just hitting refresher. Okay, you should already have this written down in your notes. If you need to write it down, but you do not have to. Okay, this looks like a smushed L. My left hand makes an angle like that. It's going to be less than or equal to, which means this one is going to be greater than or equal to. Okay, just quick refresher. And so here is what we're going to do next. I am going to put up 4 one-step inequalities that are already solved. You do not have to write these down. I want you guys to look for a pattern. Okay. Magic. 4 problems up. You are not writing this down. I just want you to take a look. Okay, so here was my first problem. I started with less than. I ended with less than. Okay, what's your point, Mrs. Grutt? Let's look at the next one. I started with greater than. I ended with less than. Okay, Mrs. Grutt, now you're just being weird and confusing signs because you can. Let's look at the next one. So greater than or equal to, change to less than or equal to. Greater than or equal to, stayed as greater than or equal to. So what happened here? What made us switch signs on this problem and this problem compared to the other two? Take a look and see what you can come up with. What made us switch the signs here, but not switch signs here? If you took a second to actually pause and think about it, notice here we divided by a negative to both sides. Here we multiplied by a negative to both sides. Here I divided by a positive. Here I multiplied by a positive. So the only difference in solving inequalities, besides having different signs, is the fact that sometimes we flip. And this is my daughter's Giraffe. Okay, Giraffe decided that he wanted to help come teach. So if you look, he's got a sign that says to flip or not to flip. The Giraffe thinks he's Shakespeare. I don't know. This is what I deal with. Okay, but this is what I need you guys to think about. When you divide or multiply by a negative number, we're going to actually flip that inequality sign. And you guys will get practice with that. Okay? So what I do want you to go ahead and write, it's up to you if you want to write this down. You do not have to. But what I do want you to write is these 2 steps for solving, because that's what we're going to focus on today. And we'll throw some graphing in there as well. So to solve, this is going in your notebook. To solve inequalities, we're going to have 2 steps. Step 1, solve like an equation. Give you a couple more seconds to write that down. The second step, and what Giraffe here is going to remind you guys of, is that we are going to flip the sign only if multiply or divide by a negative number. That is the only difference between solving equations and solving inequalities. So we're going to hit a couple examples together. Okay, we're going to solve them. We're going to make sure whether we need to flip the sign or not. And then we're going to practice graphing. Then there are 3 that I'm going to have you guys try on your own. You'll pause the video, come back, and check answers for me, okay? If you've got these 2 solving steps written down, let's go ahead and jump into our solving. So example 1 that I want you guys to go ahead and write down in your notebook is going to be 4x plus 5 is greater than -7. Okay. And so to solve this, I'm going to solve it like an equation. That's what my first step said. So draw my line through the inequality sign, move my 5 over first. It's a positive, so let's subtract. I'm solving it just like I did in equation. I'm going to bring down my sign, no flipping it because I didn't multiply or divide by a negative number. -7 minus 5. Remember to type that in your calculator like this. Don't be adding extra negative signs. That's going to be -12. Give you a second to write that down. And so my next step then, I need to move the 4. Since 4 and x are getting multiplied, I'm going to divide. So divide by 4, divide by 4, x, -3. Now, did we divide by a negative number? To flip or not to flip? The Giraffe wants to know. We have a negative number, but we didn't divide by a negative. We are only looking at this number, guys. So since this was positive, no flip. X is greater than -3 for my answer. Graphing this, because I want to practice this too. Let's start with 0. -3 is smaller than 0, so I'm going to put that on the left. Greater than is an open dot, so I'm going to put an open dot at -3. What numbers are greater than -3? 0, 1, 2, a million. This is where my arrow is going to go. Okay, solved, graphed. Let's try another one. If you are not done with this example, pause this video and then pick it up again once you are ready. Second example, for those of you that are ready. X divided by -7 plus 3 is less than 8. Solve it like an equation. Draw my line to stay organized. Move my constant over. These cancel out. Not going to flip my sign yet. Okay, next step, let's get x by itself. We're dividing by -7, so I'm going to multiply by -7 to both sides. X, -35. Giraffe wants to know. Try to get you on the camera, Giraffe. To flip or not to flip? Did we multiply or divide by a negative number? Let's take a look. Yes, this number was negative, and so I am going to flip my inequality sign. When I go to graph this then, okay, we're going to deal with lots of negative numbers. So 0 in the middle, -35 is less, greater than, open circle. What numbers are greater than -35? 0 is bigger, a million's bigger. My line should be going this way. I'm going to walk through one more example, and then I'm going to give you guys 3 to try on your own. If you're not done with this example, pause it and make sure you've got all of this written down, And when you're ready, press play for one more example of my walkthrough. Example 3. 5x plus 15 less than or equal to -10. Write that down for me. Let's solve for x like we would an equation. These cancel out. Get x by itself. 5 and x are being multiplied, so let's divide. I end up with x and -5. Giraffe wants to know, to flip or not to flip? Did we multiply or divide by a negative number? Well, this number is negative, but again, we don't care about this number, guys. Okay, we care about the number that we're moving to either side of the equation. So if we look at the 5, this 5 is positive. My sign is not going to flip. It is going to stay the same as less than or equal to. Let's graph this on a number line. 0 in the middle. My answer is -5. Less than or equal to would be a closed dot. So what numbers are less than -5? That would be more negative numbers, -6, -10, -1,000,000. 0 is not less than -5, so my arrow needs to be going this way. You've seen 3. I'm going to put 3 examples up that I want you guys to try. Pause the video, solve them, graph them, and then we'll come back together and we'll check answers. Okay, so the 4th example that I want you to try is going to be -2 greater than or equal to -4y plus 6 plus 4. If you don't have that down, pause this because I'm going to go on to another page. Example 5 that I want you to try is, notebook pages are getting stuck. -3x plus 3 is greater than or equal to 33 plus 2x. Solve and graph that one for me. And then the last example that I want you to try is 3x plus 4 plus x is greater than or equal to 68. Pause the video, try those 3 problems for me. Once you have solved them and graphed them, play the video again. Think about giraffe, okay? Every time, are we supposed to be flip or not to flip? Giraffe is watching you, and then we'll see how we did. All right, let's see how you did. Giraffe is very interested. So 4, 3 is less than or equal to y, or you can rewrite that with y on the left side. Y is greater than or equal to 3. Do you have one of these 2 answers? Does your inequality graph match mine? Giraffe, you need to get out of my face now. Okay, take a look, see if we match. If we match, let's keep going then. Oh, by the way, if your name is Haley or Diego, and you send me a Schoology message with what time in the video I just said your name, I will give you extra credit on tonight's homework. 5, taking a look, we ended up dividing by a negative number, so we had to flip our sign. X is less than or equal to -6. Do you have this answer? Does your inequality graph match mine? Example 6, we did not have to divide by a negative number, so there is no flip. Do you have x is greater than or equal to 16? Does your inequality graph match mine? Use these examples, guys, to help you on the homework tonight. As always, message your teacher if you have any questions. Make sure you include a picture of your work so that way we can see where the mistakes are at. Good luck. You guys got this. Think about giraffe, okay? To flip or not to flip? That is the question.